welcome to Traveling Inside Out. This is Alina, your host. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the podcast that explores the world within and out. And thank you for subscribing to Traveling Inside Out, wherever you want, including on YouTube, by the way. Good morning, Andra. It's 8:48 a.m. Um, we were supposed to record like 1 hour ago. I'm sorry, technical issues.
Good morning to you. It's 3:48 p.m. in Romania. It's still light. We still have some light outside, so that is a plus. It's no problem. Yeah, we have technical issues, but that's what happens. It is good to be here again.
Can you imagine
Man,
a day in which we would be in the same place and record the podcast? Can you imagine that
that would
happening?
yes, that will happen. It will happen next year. It has to happen.
Somehow. Um, so how have you been? Shortly.
Shortly, well, good. Busy, I guess. But that's okay. I just realized today that we have less than a month till Christmas, so I need to do all the things that I said I would do this year and haven't. I have 1 month left to fill them all in. To um, you know,
I
all of the
have.
goals for what to do. I'll do them now in 1 month.
So you remember, and for our listeners, how very few of them we still have. Uh, we're recording at the beginning of the year. Some we were kind of like premonition for each other and things like that. And I remember for a fact that I told you that I'm writing them in my notebook, and
Mhm.
we can. So then I'm not gonna lose them because it's just like we are just talking about it or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Spoiler, that notebook was in the backpack that was stolen from me
No.
when the car was broken in when we were in Texas. I haven't talked about this on the podcast, uh, about my backpack being stolen from the parked car. But guess what?
The notebook was retrieved. No, you still have them written somewhere.
Well, I have to rewatch the podcast
Okay,
and mark down
yeah,
again everything we said.
yeah.
It's I in a way I feel like I jinxed myself, but what can you do? I know what you can do. Don't go with a crazy expensive car in dubious places. Anyway, uh so yes, I what I'm trying to say is that I don't remember what we said, that what we wish for each other, or like what we thought is gonna happen, what we were thankful. I do not know any of that. I don't remember none of that.
I do want to like leave this message out there if somehow the person who stole your backpack is listening to this, found your notebook. I
Can you
just
imagine?
want like, yeah, just please just write a comment and just say like, yeah, these are the things that you guys this
Yeah.
is the page and that's it. We don't need any more. That is usually enough.
Yeah, the
Just a
sad
list.
thing for me was that I had my passport in it, so I had to change my passport, and that kind of sucked. But there was nothing for them, like literally nothing of value.
Valuable.
Everything
Yeah.
valuable was with me. And the even craziest part is because they just smashed the glass and they grabbed the backpack and they ran. Because my husband's backpack was also on the other side of in the same place in the back of the car, but his backpack was black on black seats in the back.
Mhm.
So they didn't see because he had his headphones that were quite expensive. He had a lot of other stuff that was more expensive. So jokes on them because they grabbed the backpack that had nothing of valuable to them, just stuff for me. I've had like my sound machine, like stuff that was literally nothing to them. But yeah.
Right.
Um
Yeah, just to make your life harder and more inconvenient. You have to like
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. There was nothing for them. It just inconvenient. And the backpack per se was
yeah.
actually my husband's as well. So we had to buy him another one because I basically, yeah, got his backpack stolen. That being said, we have been through two elections since the last time we talked, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I always believe that you don't vote only when you go and declare your vote, but you vote with your money as well. So what you
Mhm.
decide to buy and what you decide to do and what you give attention to, all of that is also a way of voting. But boy, oh boy, it's a roller coaster of a. I don't even know. I don't even have words. It's just insanity times infinity. That's the world we live in right now. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, unfortunately it is, and it's happening everywhere, both in the US and in Romania. We still don't know who's going to win the second round of presidential elections, but it's kind of similar to what happened in the US, so
Yeah, pretty much the
the
same
prospect is not.
discourse, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we'll see. I kept saying that it feels like United States is going backwards, and that's I was jokingly saying that's great for Romania because we can catch up. Not anymore.
Not if Romania is going backward.
We might go backwards as well. So that being said, let's switch. I didn't ask you. Do you have a recommendation for the month?
I do actually. I got it
Okay,
ready.
because I forgot about it to be honest with you. And I was like, what am I doing with my life right now? What can I recommend? And I'm going to start with another video game called Call of the Sea. It's an adventure game that is mostly based on storytelling and puzzles. So you don't, you basically explore areas and you try to figure things out in order to move to the next chapter. It was released in 2020 in I think November 2020. So it's been a second, but the subject is that and it's a first person perspective kind of a game. So the main character, Nora, no, first let me set the scene. We are in 1930s. Since I was talking about going back, it's just a perfect. We are in the 1930s. And Nora receives a letter with a picture of her husband with the coordinates of an island in the South Pacific. By the accent, she seems to be coming from UK, somewhere in UK. And so she embarks on this trip in order to try to find her husband. And then there's a lot of puzzles. The thing is that she's suffering of a disease. That is, this is the reason why her husband went on a quest to find something that can heal her. Now the crazy thing is that I haven't finished the game. I'm still going through it. I have to mention two main things. Number one, it gets a bit so the company who made I forgot the name. The company who made this game is known for making horror games. This is
Okay.
not a horror game, but it has few moments when you're like, what is going on? And it's a little bit creepy. Just like it's not like it's just a bit spooky, like just a hint, just a pinch of spookiness in it, which I love.
Okay.
But the one thing that I don't love is that it says in the beginning as a warning that for people with epilepsy it might trigger epilepsy or something like that. So
Right,
I
like it.
don't have epilepsy or anything like that, but it's triggering some motion sickness in me. uh, that is really weird. However, I love the storyline. When you search for things, sometimes when you play these kind of games, you don't know if this thing is important or it's not important. Like you see all bunch of like not puzzles, you see also all bunch of clues. You don't know if that matters or it doesn't matter. So what this game does is with each clue that matters is basically she's noting it down in her notebook.
Okay.
And what also helps, it turns out that she also writes it in a specific order. So it very much happened to me, and I don't know if it's my ADHD or if that's the way that some people play the game. I a lot of times find clues before I'm finding other clues. So I see an empty, like half a page is empty, which
Uh-huh.
at least now I know that wait, I need to kind of go back or try to like usually I don't know, man. I don't go. you get to a point and you can go left, right, and center, right? However I decide to go, I never go the way where the first clue is. I never.
Okay.
And I never realized that, but now with this game, I can see that, yep, that's just how I function. I just don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go like 5, 3, 1, 4, 2. Like that's kind of how I.
Wonder if that's like an intended, like, if they feel like, okay, the general user goes this way and this way, this takes this path, and so this is how we're gonna do it because the most people will do that, and you're just not part of that, like, yeah, the general
I have
user.
no
or
idea.
or it's just, yeah, like a random thing, and then you're not even supposed to find them in a specific order. But I guess you say, like, yeah, half a page is empty. That is kind of weird because
Yeah, with the clue, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly, exactly, exactly. So once again, the name of the game is Call of the Sea.
for me, I'm going to recommend, and it's probably not so great to recommend something that you haven't completely finished or read yet. But for me, I just found out about this book, which is called Playing Possum: How Animals Understand Death. It's written by Susanna Monceau, I think it's you pronounce her name. And it's, for me, that the idea of how animals understand and perceive death and grieving sounds very is fascinating to me because I've been through I've always had many pets, and some of them were old, some of them were sick, some of them just got hit by a car, whatever. And so I always wondered, for me, my feelings about losing a pet were obviously, very deep, and it was, yeah, like it was really like the feelings of loss and grief. But I was always wondering, what about my other pets? How do they cope? How do they relate to the loss of another one, of one of the other pets that I had? And also because, I had two cats. I've had them since they were kittens. They grew up together. They slept together, they ate together, they did everything together, and one of them was run over by a car, and we were all devastated. And I could tell that her brother was a lot more um he was a lot more like needy towards me afterwards. He would come to me more often. He would sleep next to me a bit, like, more than he used to before. I felt like he was also feeling the loss somehow. And so I found this book and I was like, yeah, I need to actually I want to read this. And I really like the fact that, like the book description, it says that it's trying to dispel some myths that only humans grieve, and death is important only for humans in that sense. And the book is trying to reveal that when it comes to this part of life, to dying, we are just another animal. We are just like other animals in nature. And to me, that is really interesting, and it's something I want to read. So I can't really tell you more about it. It's just I just found out about it. It was published in, I think, October of this year, so it's also very new. So again, it's called Playing Possum: How Animals Understand Death by Susanna Monceau.
We were talking just before starting the podcast about what should we talk about today, and I said last time that we could talk about Romanian National Day, but to be honest, I've already talked about it in a previous podcast, and I was thinking, how about talking about something I haven't talked in before? And I said, let's start with Saint Andrew's Day, which is on 30th of November. So this podcast is gonna come out on Monday. So it's just like few days after basically the day. I know that in general, is it day off for us? Because I feel like it's also considered the protector of Romania. Do you know that?
I thought too. Yeah, I think he's the Christian, the saint who brought Christianity to Romania, to this part of the world. And so I think so. And yes, it is a public holiday now as well. So we have November November 30th and December 1st, which is the National Day of Romania, as days off. And this year it's a complete tragedy because they both fall on the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. And we don't get them
Oh,
like compensated or anything. It's
yeah,
just, yeah,
no.
Saturday and Sunday. It's a normal weekend.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing because I have lived outside of Romania for so long that I didn't have these days off anyway. But also,
Yeah.
I didn't have a 9 to 5 job anyway to begin with. So for me, it's like whatevs, basically, right? But it's funny that
Yeah.
I know people that are like, oh no, our weekend, our it's supposed to be blah, 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 stuff like that. Not like how Thanksgiving is always on a Thursday. So
Right.
they are all yeah, they're always gonna have Thanksgiving on a Thursday. So then Thursday and Friday it's off basically for American. Okay, so we were talking about what do we know about Saint Andrew, and to my amusing, shocking, and very true to how many times we talked about stuff and realized that we don't know same things.
We really don't.
We
It's
really
funny.
do not
Not
know
such
the
a
same
big
things.
country. Yeah, but we don't. And it's probably worth starting with mentioning that for many religious holidays in Romania, we have this little, we also have the religious, I guess, ceremonies that you do, the religious things, but also the superstitions that people follow, especially in the countryside. And they usually come from pre-Christian times because they were kind of like in engulfed into the holiday afterwards. But yes, and these superstitions, they vary so much from even region to region, even I guess village to village sometimes. So yeah, like we did not have like, yeah, when sometimes when I hear what people do for a certain holiday or another, I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea. It's like a different country altogether.
I mean, speaking about Romanian National Day, we were regions who unified. So, in a way, we did have kind of different, even though technically you and I should be from the same region. So, I still don't understand.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm wondering. Like, if
So,
Romania
never
is
mind.
is yeah, even Transylvania is not so big. So
So I did a Google search, obviously, after I was talking with you and see, like, wait, what is happening? And before talking about Saint Andrew in our country, I was just like literally just looking over here, and it's also like this day is celebrated in Scotland um, as
interesting.
well, and it's considered, and that's why it's so funny. It's considered a bank holiday, and if it's on the weekend, it's gonna be celebrated on Monday.
Of course.
Um, yeah, but bank holiday meaning that they are not necessarily day off. It's not. It's kind of with their choice. Then it's also celebrated in Barbados, which I was like, what? Okay, so St. Andrew's Day is celebrated as the National Day of Independence in Barbados. In some Barbadian symbols, including the cross formation uh, and the former Order of Barbados, which styled recipients as Knight or Dame of St. Andrew. I was like, that's interesting.
Thing, yeah.
Then it's also celebrated in Serbia. And I mean, with Serbia, kind of we are neighbors. On St. Andrew's Day in 1806, Serbs liberated Belgrade from Ottoman rule. It says the document has defined the autonomy of Serbia as part of the Ottoman Empire, and the additional Berat confirmed Prince Miloš as the hereditary, whatever is that word, ruler of the Serbian Principality. So, St. Andrew's Day was instituted as the Statehood Restoration Day and was celebrated during the rule of the Obrenović dynasty until 1903. That's like, have you ever heard that? They're our neighbors, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, I
None
had
of
no.
that.
Yeah.
None of that. I'm wondering if people, because we were talking about regions, I'm wondering if Romanians who live closer to the border with Serbia, if they know about any of this.
Yeah, it's interesting that they have like their Independence Day basically on St. Andrew's Day.
From the Ottoman Empire, not from the English Empire, like from the British Empire. There were other empires. Hello,
From the
world.
non-Christians.
So I was talking with you just now about St. Andrew's Day, and I was telling you that how do you translate strigoi? Kind of ghosts, spirits, dead
Uh,
spirits, kind of
I
like
think
dead spirits. I
so.
was telling you that I know about St. Andrew that it's a bit more spookier. The sky opens or whatever, the realm between the dead and the alive is opening, and then there's some ghosts and stuff like that. And you were like not knowing any of this.
Yeah, not really, because for me, no, the idea of yeah, like undead being on Earth and whatever, I think it was more like connected to the Day of the Dead that we already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And for St. Andrew's Day, I think I did know that other thing about animals speaking, and yeah, there's like one superstition that yeah, like that night animals can talk, um and some other things, but I don't actually remember knowing too much about yeah, the undead, the poltergeists, the spirits, whatever associated with like a spooky holiday. But it kind of makes sense because it's kind of close to the winter solstice, I guess, and that it's when you have a very long night, and I guess yeah, people just thought, oh, because we have so much darkness, bad things must happen in that darkness. I don't know.
um yeah, that might also be. I'm trying to understand. I don't know how I know of this and you don't know the same thing. It's exactly as you said. So there are a few pre-Christian Romanian traditions connected to Saint Andrew's Day, some of them having their origin in the Roman celebrations of the god Saturn, most famously the Saturnalia. During this night, wolves can eat all the animals they want. It is said that they can speak too, but anyone who hears them will soon die. I didn't know about this part. I didn't know, but you were saying about the
Yeah.
animals. Yeah, you were saying something about animals. So that's what it says. So I haven't heard of this. Um, and then this is kind of a little bit similar with what you were saying, more or less. Early on St. Andrew's Day, the mothers go into the garden and gather tree branches, especially from apple, pear, cherry trees, and rosebush branches. They make a bunch of branches for each family member. The one whose bunch blooms by New Year's Day will be lucky and healthy the following year.
Okay,
Um,
interesting.
okay, so
So for this
yeah,
one,
you tell me now because you knew something about this similar.
about this one, yeah. So I remember when I was a kid, I was told that yeah, for St. Andrews, you're supposed to cut a few branches from an apple tree and bring them in the house. And I can't remember, were you supposed to like refresh the water every night or something like that? But anyway, like to keep them in fresh water. And if they bloom by Christmas or by New Year's Eve, yeah, you will be lucky and healthy and so on, because I guess the apple tree blossom is considered to be like good luck, pure, and so on. And we even have in Romanian tradition, we have Christmas carols that mention the white flowers, the apple flowers, and so on. So I assume it has something to do with that. I remember I did it once when I was like in second grade or so. I got a few apple tree branches, but they never bloomed. So I don't know. I was a bit disappointed, never doing this again.
Oh no. Yeah, now that you're saying about the carol, about the apple. Yeah, but I was thinking we don't grow apples everywhere in Romania.
Not
We
really.
do grow plenty of apples, don't get me wrong, but like it's not 100% of all of the regions in Romania grow apples. So
Yeah.
it's probably still a region based kind of a thing, right? Because
Yeah,
why
so
apple? You know what I mean? Like it still
yeah.
sounds very region based. Um, okay, so another thing that they say on Wikipedia is that the best known tradition connected to this night concerns matrimony and premonitory dreams. Single girls must put a sprig or branch of sweet basil under their pillow. The girl will marry soon if someone takes the plants in their dreams. They can also plant wheat in a dish and water it until New Year's Day. The nicer the wheat looks that day, the better the year to come. Never heard of any of these. And as I was telling you, I do know about the basil, but I don't know what is sweet basil because in our case it was dry basil. So I know about the basil that you would get on 6th of January, which guess what is also my when I got married. That's when I got
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
Um, so you get the dry basil. I don't know if it's sweet or not. And you're supposed to put it under your pillow and you're going to dream the one that you are your partner. Basically you're gonna dream your partner. Now the thing is that this was connected to is it baptism? How do I explain that in English? Is this Jesus baptism? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
the
we're
back
celebrating on the 6th of January is when Jesus Christ was baptized by uh, John. Hmm? I guess John, right?
on the Baptist,
The
yeah.
Baptist, right? Yeah. So that's what we celebrate. And usually that means that a priest from our town comes and basically sanitizes. What does he do? It's not sanitizing. I'm being funny.
I guess it's purifying.
Purifying the house to basically take the bad spirits out of the house and
House blessing, I
whatever.
guess.
Yeah, something like that. So I would get that every single time from the priest. He would be like, "Oh, you are a girl, you get the thing, so I can have it under my pillow and dream and all of that." But again, this is not related at all. And it seems so weird to me why basil in November is like out of nowhere. Like I don't,
Yeah, that's
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like it's not connected to anything. It makes no sense. So I'm gonna contradict the Wikipedia what they are saying. But did you know about what I'm saying? Like, did you do this for like any of this basil thing situation? Was that happening
Mhm.
in your life, Andra?
No, to be honest, no. Like I don't, or if it is, I don't know of it. For me, the only thing that's kind of similar to this is for the holiday of June 24th, which is the holiday of Sanziene, which is the, I guess, hayflower, it's called, or something like that. And that's when you're supposed to uh, you know young girls that are not married yet, they're supposed to pick, I think they are called hay flowers, the small tiny yellow flowers. You're supposed to pick some and then put them under your pillow at night, and then you are supposed to dream about the man you're going to marry, or like the your soulmate, your chosen one. But for the other, like for the one in January, no, not, I don't know of that. I do know that they use basil, yeah, when the priest comes to like bless the house. um and you're supposed to, yeah, keep some of that basil for, yeah, to for good luck and so on. But I didn't know about this, like with girls keeping it to dream about their chosen one.
There's like an article in which they are bringing all sort of crazy things that I've never heard about. But what I do know about St. Andrew is that, as I was saying, is like the creepy things. And I feel Like that's when you're supposed to use a lot of garlic. So you protect yourself from the bad spirits. Maybe should be a garlic that you put under the pillow. Can you imagine the smell?
Maybe,
Can you
maybe, yeah.
imagine the smell?
Sleeping. Oh God, yeah, with garlic on the pillow. But actually, that would make a lot more sense. You're right.
What I'm reading in Romanian, a lot of the things are very much uh, countryside life kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But there's also one thing in which apparently the girl needs to make uh, a piece of like a bread, but the one that is round. So you have a hole
Right.
inside, and you're supposed to put a garlic in in the middle in that hole. You're supposed to put a garlic and then leave it for like a week. And in that week, if the garlic springs or something like that, that means that she's gonna be having a great year and whatever. And if it doesn't, that means that the next year is gonna not be uh, great, basically. And I'm like, I've never heard of any of that. I'm
Me
just saying
neither.
what I'm just reading, right? Like literally what I'm just reading, and I'm like, where did they come with these stories about? Like, what are we talking about? Um, and then there's another one in which they're saying that uh, they have to hide any tool or anything that is sharp. So you have to tie them with a rope and put them aside, and that's how you protect your house from bad spirits or animals. And I'm like,
Okay.
I don't what? Like what? Huh? It makes no sense to me, but you know.
Yeah. Apparently, they are from Maramuresh, my county, but
Oh
I
my
haven't.
god.
Also, Maramuresh is like it has two parts. One is like the old traditional Maramuresh, and the other one where I'm in, it's like the more like the newer, more urbanized, I guess. And in this part, I haven't heard of that. I'm sure in some of the villages in the north, it's these people still do these, but it's yeah, I
Okay,
I haven't heard.
let me tell you one more that is kind of adding to the rest of the tools that have to be put aside. That's also the comb or like the brush that you're using to do your hair.
Okay.
So, to the point that it says that you need to use it in the day before. So, you need to
Okay.
do your hair style, whatever, the day before. And you need to put it away for St. Andrew's Day. You know how the combis, those,
The
we are
teeth, I
calling it,
guess.
yeah, we are calling it teeth, but I don't know if that's the same in
I don't know
English.
anymore. Yeah.
Um, they are symbolistic of the claws of an animal. So
Okay.
also in a rope and put aside with the rest of the sharp objects.
Oh wow. Okay. These days
Especially,
we have so many sharp objects around the house, from scissors to knives to uh, tweezers to like God, everything. It would take me half a day just to like put them aside, and then the next
imagine,
half a
yeah,
day.
imagine the regular, like back in the day, because this is what you have in the house. But imagine in a yard when you have everything is sharp. Like everything
Yeah,
you
all
own
the
is freaking
tools.
sharp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? All the tools that you use to work the land, to like all of the things, like to fix the house, like
Yeah.
everything,
And it would
other than
it
a
would
hammer.
take like yeah, exactly. It would take a day just to put them away, and then the next day after St. Andrews to like bring them back up and like make them usable again.
Exactly. So it says that you need to have 10 to 12 girls, and each girl has one bread, three cloves of garlic, and then the basil, and they have to be tied with a red string and some a bottle of brandy, rakiu, whatever brandy, I would
Okay.
say. They are all gonna be placed on a table in the corner of a house, and then you cover them with like a red scarf or something like that. Then you have a candle that it's supposed to be light on from the morning to the night. So it's you're supposed to put a candle by that table, right? Then, by each side of the table, you need to have two older women that are going to protect, like they are basically there to protect the bread and all of that. Are you still following, or I've lost you?
Yeah, like yeah, you have two guardians basically of
Yes,
the.
exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so they are gonna be there like the whole time until the morning to make sure that
Oh,
nobody's gonna
really?
touch that. Yes. Then they're saying there's like a party, so you bring people who are singing and wine and whatever. So everybody parties until the morning, and then when it's morning, we have a specific dance that is called hora in Romanian. It's kind of similar with the Greek hora. Maybe people are more, maybe know a little bit more about the Greek hora. So it's kind of similar for us as well. You need to take that outside. So everything was in the house so far. And then in the morning, when the day comes, you need to take the hora outside. And then there needs to be one guy, so a male, that is going to
Okay.
be in the middle of the hora. Then after that, every girl takes their stuff back and they give it to the guys, right? So
Okay.
they eat the bread, they drink the brandy, and the garlic is kept to make remedies, all sort of remedies. That garlic is also,
Like or garlic though, who would like? Is it somebody who just really doesn't want you to get married or to whatever? I don't know. Like who would
they steal
steal
the
garlic?
garlic because they can use it to plant it in the spring. So they just
Ah,
use your
so
free
for
garlic.
utilitarian purposes. I see. Okay,
And then
without
it,
knowing that it is magical garlic.
yeah, exactly. And then it says that you can also take a little bit of that garlic if you go on a long road. It's gonna be like good amen again. So
Protection.
reading all of this, I was like, come on, guys, you're making this up. I'm like, did
Yeah.
AI wrote this? Like, come on, like this is they pull it out of their bum bums. I have very rarely in my entire life, Andra, have I partied until the morning. So now I'm just curious. Have you partied like and dancing? Like I don't. I need to be drunk in order to start dancing. I'm gonna just be very honest. Um, or I'm just being funny and I'm trying to annoy my husband and I just dance in public for him to just do like shake his head at me and be like, Alina, you are making me feel so like, please stop doing that.
Oh, rarely. I think it may be like when I was in university and maybe just like less than 5 times. I cannot remember. I know once it was in when I was an exchange student in South Korea and they had like the welcome party for international students. Um and we were out somewhere, so we were, outside of the city at like a big kind of like camp thing, and I think we were there until the morning because even if you wanted to sleep, you couldn't because it was like a big place where everybody was partying, and you could just sleep in like adjacent areas there, but you couldn't because of, like there was like a lot of noise. But no, like very very rarely I stayed out until the morning, and I always had a very uneasy feeling going to bed when the sun comes out, like when it's starting to get when it's starting to get like bright outside. When you go to bed at that time, for me it feels unnatural. For me it feels like, oh my god, I'm supposed to wake up now and I'm going to sleep. Something is wrong with me. I don't know, it always felt weird. um and I dislike the idea of feeling like terrible the next day. um So yeah, I usually just don't stay up very late. I I do stay up late for New Year's Eve. Yeah, for sure, because it's like the New Year's party and all, but even then not until the morning.
I'm curious to know, first and foremost, are you doing anything for National Day? I mean, it's already passed by the time we're listening to this, but
I haven't planned anything, but I don't know, maybe just go to like some Christmas market openings because usually they open on December 1st and then they last until after the holidays. So I'll probably just go see the lights and the little houses that sell all sorts of things, Christmassy stuff. yeah, no, I haven't planned anything else.
And remember to vote on December 1st.
Yeah, that also for sure.
I am gonna try to do something, but I don't know. You know me, I have plans and then I give up on them. I want to do every day starting December 1st until the 24th or 25th, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, depends, 10 minutes. It depends on how it's gonna go of live streaming because for the first time ever, I got myself an advent calendar. And very
Oh, nice.
classic of me, my first advent calendar is with tea. So I'm thinking to
Okay.
just have 10 minutes, like who wants to have a cup of tea with me. So yeah, if you are available, you can join us in to just be in chat and say hi.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would love to get my own cup of tea. Yeah, depends on what time you are going to do it, but yeah, it would be no, it would be.
so that's what I'm gonna try and do. Technically, by the time this comes out, I should have already started it. So let's see, let's see if I'm gonna do it or not. Again, we're gonna talk more about maybe next time. But do you have any holidays plans at all?
Well, I was considering nothing is set in stone yet, but I was considering having a little maybe Christmas or pre-Christmas party with some friends because people are coming home, and it would be nice to get have a little get together, and then maybe get a little holiday escape to somewhere warmer with my boyfriend, but we haven't decided on anything yet. But it would be nice to just yeah get some time off because the last 2 months have been quite busy with a lot of like work and renovation projects and everything. So that would be nice. Even though I do like having a white Christmas, I'm not sure we will have snow for Christmas in Romania, so then might as well just go somewhere warm and be on the beach.
But you did
If
have snow already.
we did, we had snow. I put
Okay.
up a little Christmas tree in my house, and that yeah. So I can say I had that. I don't know. We still don't know how what the weather's gonna be like in December, but
Well, I'm gonna spend my holidays in Florida. The thing is that what you were talking about is it's exactly about the New Year's Eve that you said that you are usually staying away for New Year's Eve because you know. However, I am in the last few years, I have put so much pressure on me for New Year's Eve and I'm not enjoying it. It's just and also it was just my husband and I or my husband and his family and I'm not enjoying it at all. So my plan is after like midnight and a minute after I'm going to bed. Like I'm
great.
so that's my whole plan for New Year's Eve. Midnight and a minute,
Happy New Year. Good night.
because
That's
that was
that's
my plan. Yeah, I wanted to say that to my husband. Like last year, I was like, okay, we either go and try to see some fireworks somewhere in New York because hello, or if not, I'm not gonna stay awake. I'm just gonna go to bed. I don't care anymore. Why do I need to? Like, you know what? I'm over this. Like, like I'm over it. But I can't be
yeah.
over it because now we're celebrating with his family. We'll see in the new year how I'm gonna tell you the story about how everything went down. Hopefully, I'm not gonna get COVID again. Pray for me.
Oh God. Yeah.
Again, if you want to join me for a cup of tea, you and our listeners, I'm gonna have it on YouTube. So you have to go and I would rather have you subscribe to my channel, please, so you see exactly when I'm planning to do cup of tea moment. That is not sponsored, by the way. Your YouTube channel is
Has been silent for so long now, but it has my full name,
Andra
and
Popandorca.
hopefully, like I usually say, I'll have more. But if I do go on holiday somewhere, I'll have more time to, shoot nice things. Maybe I should actually add some. I had some shorts with the snowfall that we had recently because that was nice.
Yeah, that could. I mean, I was doing back when I was using Instagram. I was doing some stuff with so much winter we had in Iceland. So that being said, thank you like always. Also, I need to truly thank you, Andra, because that this was not the plan, but because of you, I kept the podcast going
Oh,
this year. That was not the plan when I started doing this with you, but this year was so challenging for me from all sort of reasons that I just couldn't record an extra episode each month. So this podcast is now live because of you.
I'm actually very touched to hear that. I'm because I'm if this helps you and if this is something that you want to keep going, I love being a part of it.
Yes. And I will see what's going to happen in the new year. But until then, thank you again very much, and hope to let's try to record another one, a last one in December.
Yeah, definitely we'll do it.
This concludes today's episode. Thank you for listening and for reviewing Traveling Inside Out. If you want to get in touch with me, send an email to podcast@alinaigrad.com. And remember, your outer journey begins with inner work. Until next time.